Great. Well, hey there, everybody. Natalie MacLean here, and if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, the recording, please, I still want to hear from you. Please comment in the comments below. How are you doing with all that's going on in our crazy, crazy world? How are you coping? Have your wine habits changed? Tonight's topic: are wine and wineries and liquor stores essential services? I want to hear from you. Also, tell me where you're logging in from, what's in your glass tonight. If nothing is yet in your glass, what have you enjoyed lately wine-wise? I'm Natalie MacLean, editor of Canada's largest wine review site, and this is where we gather every second Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern to talk about some really interesting topics in the world of wine and just to come together as a community. It's an informal chat. It's a snob-free zone, so feel free to chime in, even if it's just to say hello. Now let me refresh my screen and see if all of this is working or if I'm talking to the Ethernet. Ethernet? Ether, I guess. I know that sometimes it does take a while to register, so I will be looking for your comments and to see if you are seeing me. All right, so let's see who's logging in and where you're from. And have you changed your wine habits? Are you buying wine differently now? Are you still going to the liquor store as often as you used to? Are you maybe curtailing your travels to wineries or wine regions? I would love to know. I am going to take a sip. I've got tonight an Alsatian Riesling. It's lovely. I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, it's been quite a week, I must say. Now, let me see if I can find you all here. Let's see, I'm going to keep refreshing. Last time I went live, it took a good 2 minutes before I could see you all and your comments. It probably would help if I was on my own Facebook page. I'm not going to notify myself, so I kind of need to be there, right? To actually see if this is going live. So now, oh, yep, there I am. All right. Sometimes you just got to trust the process and keep talking into the void. So I am clicking on my own head right now because I want to see your comments. And now I got the circle buffering thing going on in my head. So please keep commenting. Let me know where you're logging in from. What's in your glass? Have you discovered anything amazing wine-wise? Do you have a favorite food and wine pairing? I'd love to know. And if you are enjoying this banter so far, or if you anticipate enjoying this conversation, please take a moment to forward this video, this link to your friends, your family who also love wine. You know, it's an odd time these days, and just trying to figure out where we are. Whoops! Oh, there's my little head, big head, little head, big hair. Like they say, big hat, no cattle. Big hair, small head. Anyway, oh my, a lot of you are here already. David is here from Columbus, Ohio. Adele Ashby is working at home in BC. Adele, welcome. And David, Adele, you're one of my course students. Lorraine Reed is here from Ottawa and enjoying a Cabernet Sauvignon from South Australia. Which one, Lorraine? I would love to know. And do you like it? More importantly, should we look for it? David sipping on some J. LaSalle over here. Where is J. LaSalle from? Is it French? Not sure. Malcolm Lamont is here, and he is checking in from Greeley, Ontario, with a dram of Glen Breton from Cape Breton, the whiskey. That's my hometown, well, my home province. Grew up in Lower Sackville, but my parents are from Cape Breton, so we stayed at the distillery. Malcolm, have you stayed there? Because it's gorgeous. This is a trip you should all take when all this craziness goes away. Go to Cape Breton. It's beautiful. Go around the Cabot Trail, then go the other way. But stay at Glen Breton Distillery. They have log cabins, which are really upscale, and the restaurant is beautiful. They do like salmon-infused whiskey dishes and all kinds of treats that are just beautiful. He said he had halcyon, part of the Bose family, curse of knowledge with dinner. What is that? Is that a Cabernet? Where's it from, Malcolm? Take a little sip here. All right. Darren Berry is here, another course student. He's here from North Bay. Welcome, Darren. What's in your glass? Francis, another student, sipping on some Bordolino. I'm not wearing my glasses because I'm very vain. No, it's because the lights that I use to illuminate show little round white circles in my glasses. So I'm going to do this and read the comments like that. Elaine Bruce is in Calgary, in self-isolation. Be safe, everyone. Absolutely. Elaine, how are you coping? Gail Johnson is here in St. Catharines with Tessele, GSM, Grenache, Syrah Movedra. Feeling guilty it's not local. That's okay, Gail. As long as you support local and buy local. If you're actually a lot of provinces are shipping locally. If you're in the States or another country, I think a lot of the wineries are getting on board right now with free shipping. There's more than 95 wineries in Ontario doing free to home shipping within the province. Nova Scotia is doing the same. BC is. I would imagine Quebec is, but I haven't heard from them. But I'm sure California, Washington, Oregon, and so on are following suit. So let me know, though, in the comments, wherever you're from, are your local wineries shipping to home still? Whether it's free or not, can you order wine that way? Because tonight's topic, get ready for it, our liquor stores and wineries, essential services. There's been a hot debate on that in social media, and I'm going to relay some of the comments that I've read and my own thoughts, and I want to hear yours as well. And right, so if you are enjoying this, take a moment to forward this to your hit the share button and let your friends and family know that they might want to watch this, whether it's now live or the recording. And if you are watching the recording, please still comment below. All right, Douglas Trapasso is here from Chicago. Hello, Douglas. Love that you join in regularly. What's in your glass? Heather Proctor is here. It's me, she says. Hello, Heather. You? What are you drinking? Catherine Ann Fuller is watching from Bedeck. All right, Catherine Ann, welcome. Catherine Ann, my mom and family are from Bedeck. My dad's from Mabou in Nova Scotia. And I used to stay at my grandparents' house just around the corner from where Catherine Ann lived, like steps away. Anyway, it's so good to connect with you again, Catherine Ann. Malcolm, that's a great GSM, he's saying to Gail. And Niagara is also fantastic. Lori Sweet is here from Kingston, perhaps with Silvio. She and Silvio are travel writers, and they're also quite great wine reviewers. David Smith is here, and it says two other people, but I can't see your names. Lori Kilmartin's here from Ottawa. Welcome, Lori. Thomas Schoen is here. Welcome, Thomas. Lori says she's drinking the 2012 Premium 50 Syrah Barricas. Alessandro from Spain, delicious, 2016 in the LCBO for $16.95. Jeff Riskies is here. Hello to everyone from Osgood, so he's close to Ottawa. I love how participatory you all are. You're all here. You have nowhere else to go. I'm going to fool myself that it's me, but no, we are gathered here today for each other, right? Back to this Alsatian Riesling from Pfaff, P-F-A-F-F. So good. All right. Lorene is here from Victoria. Oh, no, her wine is Victoria Park from Australia. That is a good one, Lorene. David is the J. La Salle is a Premier Cru Champagne that's heavy-handed on the Pinot Meunier. Delish. All right. Heather Proctor. I'm drinking a great bargain wine, Connoisseur Bicyclette Viognier. You know, I think that is the best Viognier for the price point. So Connoisseur is a Chilean wine, and they make various wines at very good prices. but the Viognier has always stood out to me. It's one of the wines that I cover in my course for my course students who are here. We'll be gathering in our private Facebook group after this for a tasting. And as you know, or if you've gotten to the module yet, Connoisseur Bicyclette Viognier, you can't beat it for value. It's just such an incredibly good wine for the price. And Heather is in Guelph. Darlene O'Donnell has joined us. Hello, Darlene. Malcolm. Woohoo! North America's first single malt. Yes, that's right. Glen Bratton. Thomas Schuin is in Toledo, Ohio, enjoying Jackson Triggs Vidal Ice Wine 2015 Sublime. Thomas, you must have done some cross-border shopping to get the Jackson Triggs down in Ohio. How did you come across that bottle? Lori says, opened a bottle of Zeitgelt 2016 that I brought home from Austria a couple of years ago. Wow, that is great, Lori. You know, the Zweigelt, am I saying that correctly? I read so much that I don't hear pronounced phonetically, so sometimes I'm just stumbling through this, but Zweigelt is a red grape and wine that can survive cooler climates like Austria, but also they've got it in Nova Scotia, and I think there's some in Ontario. Elaine Peters is here from Niagara-on-the-Lake. Elaine, welcome to you and Ralph, who just joined the Wine Smart course. And Elaine also works at Between the Lines Winery in Niagara. So Elaine, we'd love to hear from you. Is your tasting room closed? Are people still ordering online? You feel free to post a link as to where they can do that, Elaine. I welcome shameless self-promotion from those who are here and participating. So let us know. Catherine Ann Fuller, hello from Bedeck, drinking a Pinot Grigio. Excellent. Catherine Ann, which Pinot Grigio? I'd like to know. Malcolm, the Curse of Knowledge is a beer from Bose. Oh. Head brewmaster from the Farmhouse Salsong. Okay. I can't keep up with your comments here. This is great. I'll return to the comments because I like having the back and forth. But I also want to get us onto the discussion tonight, which is, do you think wineries and liquor stores are essential services? So now that we're in the time of the coronavirus, do you think that both liquor stores and wineries should be open right now? And we can take one at a time. I think the easier one to tackle, perhaps, is wineries. And I was reading some interesting analysis. So there's two parts to a winery, of course. There is the tasting room and then the actual making wine. And I think the actual making wine, there's no question that that can't be shut down. It's an agricultural product. The vines need to be pruned at a certain time. You know, there's so many things that follow nature's cycle. Plus, I think that, you know, vineyard workers especially tend to be outside, lots of physical distancing. I do prefer physical distancing over social distancing. Do you? I find it less, I don't know, harsh. So to me, the making of wine is something that does need to go on, or people are going to give up an entire year. It's not like beer where you can pick it up later or make it year-round. Plus, inside the winery, those places, wineries, are one of the most hygienic of all workplaces, because if you let even the tiniest amount of bacteria or anything else get into your winemaking process, it will ruin the batch, the whole vintage. So I think both inside and outside the winery, when it comes to winemaking, it's definitely something that should continue. I want to know what you think. Let me go down, then I'll come back up. Lise Gagne is here. Let's see. Eric Winters says he's from St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome, Eric. The liquor stores are considered essential. Fortunately, that's keeping me employed. Oh, Eric, you're an employee at a liquor store. Wow, I'm going to come back to your comment because I'm going to ask First of all, let's talk about the wineries. But Eric, I'm so glad you're here. Elaine from the winery Between the Lines says the tasting room is closed. But yes, shipping, they are shipping, which I am doing. I will post our offers on your board shortly. Terrific. Lori says, taxing our health system even more are the people who are alcoholics who would need attention. Yes. So that was another point that I want to get to, Lori, that is so very critical. So with wineries, I think we can agree that they need to carry on their work in making wine, or they're just going to lose an entire year of income, and all the people who are associated with that, lose their livelihood, or it's greatly damaged. When it comes to the tasting rooms, I know it's a harsh burden, especially for small wineries who depend, like some wineries depend on most or all of their sales are from the tasting room. Some of them do have shipping, but there are many wineries around the world that don't get into the liquor stores. They don't have the production to do that. So when they close their tasting room, they're really shutting down most of their income. That said, I do think that tasting rooms do need to be shut. This is my personal opinion, do need to be shut during this lockdown period. It's a place where people are tasting, spitting, using their hands, and it's just, crowds do accumulate. I mean, I've been to tasting bars, you've probably been as well. People, don't easily self-distance just as they wouldn't at a bar. And so I do think that is a necessary thing. But what we can do as wine consumers is keep shopping online, either ordering online or buying gift certificates or whatever to support those small wineries, especially those that are local to us. Okay, so Malcolm says it's currently harvest or just about done in the southern hemisphere. New Zealand, Australia, Chile, Argentina. Yes, good point. So in the southern hemisphere, because their seasons are flipped, it's almost fall or is fall season. This is when the grapes are coming in. This is crush. This is peak production. They absolutely need to keep going during this time. So that's wineries. Now let's talk about liquor stores. Let me go back to Eric's comment. So he works in a liquor store in St. Louis, Missouri. You say St. Louis or St. Louis? Missouri or Missouri? They are considered essential. Fortunately, that's keeping me employed, as I can still take orders and get wines delivered to clients. And after many talks with clients, they need wine during this craziness. So long as the precautions for interactions and delivery are in place, I think it makes sense. I agree, Eric. And at first I thought, wow, we don't need wine any more than we need chocolate, ice cream, or cheese. They're a luxury consumable. But, our mental state is not to be underestimated. And the things that we used to have to keep us mentally happy and interacting, like going out to restaurants or getting together with friends, are not available. So we've narrowed our world. Sure, we have the internet, Netflix, online, and so on. But I do think there's something to be said for keeping some of the joys in life in our lives. And of course, we're not using any of these things, alcohol, chocolate, whatever, as crutches with immoderate consumption. But I think they're still part of trying to live some semblance of a happy life, or of at least a contented life during this lockdown period. I read some really interesting comments on Twitter beyond that. I want to share them with you because there's quite a debate. So in Italy, wine is considered a food item, and wineries are allowed to continue. And also in Italy and other countries, liquor or wine is sold with food. So if you don't shut down the grocery stores, you're not going to be shutting down the access to wine. Here in Ontario, we've got, a provincial almost monopoly with the LCBO, but we've also got wine in Loblaws, Sobeys, and other grocery stores. But still, the majority of the source of wine and alcohol is the LCBO, our government-run liquor chain. Someone said, well, during medieval times it was considered essential, but that's different from today. We do have clean water sources, so that's not quite an argument. But what I do find interesting was this post from Twitter. This gentleman said, "My wife is an emergency room doctor, and she pointed out that all of the chronic alcoholics, if they stopped drinking because they had no access to alcohol like that, they would flood the emergency rooms with patients suffering from acute alcohol withdrawal syndrome, which is life-threatening." And of course, right now, the ERs are a bit busy, and we don't want them focused on that. Plus, there are a lot of alcoholics who are either homeless or in unstable living conditions. If you take that away, and of course I'm not condoning alcoholism, but let's just face the reality of how many people, or how some people are living their lives. Take that away, what comes next? Is it, looting? Is it, more? I mean, I watched the movie Pandemic. I shouldn't have, but still. And what happened after all the stores shut down is people started looting or invading other people's homes. We don't want to get to that, and we're nowhere near it. But you can start to see the reality. Much as we'd like people not to be dependent on alcohol, there are quite a few who are. And so the solution is not like, okay, you get to go cold turkey during this time. Let me come back to you. And let me come back to my wine. Let's see. Dave Head in Corkstown is down to a 4-year supply. That's pretty desperate, Dave. Lise says, in France during the Second World War, wine was considered like medicinal and critical to the battle. Yep. David says, David's a healthcare worker. I agree with liquor stores being open. Alcohol withdrawal, if not managed, can be fatal. We don't need the extra burden at the moment, and we are already dealing with the coronavirus. I love that we have representatives from all walks of society, someone who's working in a liquor store, someone who's working in a winery, someone who's working in the healthcare system. It really provides a really global perspective. I love it, you guys. Love it. David says, love Northern Italian wines, so many interesting wines, such different styles, relatively small areas, and so many great wines, fairly unknown in the U.S. Yes, you got to feel for Italy now, and the wine industry, and everybody in Italy, of course. Just how are they coping? So, let's see now. Laureen, not 100% essential, but with the other comments, it also helps the economy. Yes, it does help the economy keep going. Because I was talking to someone who represents a winery today, and all of their restaurant sales have stopped. But at least they still have sales going from the liquor stores and online. So that is critical. It's a good point, Lorraine. Keeping those businesses alive and people employed as much as we can is essential. Rick Dalderis is here from Los Gatos, California, enjoying the 2013 Klein Petit Syrah. Great winery. Lori, alcoholism is a sickness. Agree, by cutting them off, it will create a burden on hospitals they don't need right now. Nova Smith, they are essential for alcoholics, yeah. Matt Cohen from Bloomingdale, Ontario. What are you drinking? It is an Alsatian Riesling from Pfaff, P-F-A-F-F, Matt. And if any of you, if you haven't yet, please do join me in a free online video wine class at nataliemaclean.com/class. Lori, maybe you can post that link in the comments. I go over food and wine pairings and what to look for, what to avoid. So if you've got some extra downtime coming up, please join me in that class. It's a lot of fun. It's free and it's online. Dave had, as a pharmacist, it's been tough these last few weeks. Glad I drank before this. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Let me go back here. I think this, Lori says, I think this will force a lot of wineries that did not have an online presence to do so. Absolutely. It's really, and some people ask, because I teach online wine classes, I've been asked a number of times, how did you anticipate this? Well, of course I didn't, but I sure am glad I'm set up this way now, because I love that we can still gather like this. And then for all of my core students, we're going to continue on with a private tasting of a number of different wines tonight inside a private Facebook group. So that's a lot of fun. And I mean, I'm an introvert, so I read this facetious article that came out, said, nerds celebrate, social interaction has been banned, sporting events canceled, everyone must stay online and at home. So it was like, but I identify with that because as an introvert, like I like working on my own, so to speak. I mean, I have a team of people that are in different offices, but they also work at home, right? So it's an interesting thing to go through this at this time. It's not a change of work venue for me, but for a lot of people it is. Janet is here. And let's see. Guys, you know what? It's already hit 7:30. So I'm going to wrap this up very soon. I am so glad that you came and joined me tonight. If you are watching the replay, please comment. If you joined us late, you can watch the recorded video that will be here momentarily when we wrap up. Please stay healthy, stay well, keep washing your hands, keep enjoying wine in moderation. I'm here for you. Keep commenting. I'll be in the comments. But I really appreciate you all, and especially in times like this. And to my core students, I will see you in about 10 minutes. All right? And we shall carry on. All right, folks. Bye for now.